Did you ever hear of a town that just picked itself up and moved? Sounds mad, doesn't it? Like something from a tall tale. Well, Taylorsville, Mississippi actually did it. Yes, the entire shebang, houses, stores, the whole kit and caboodle. It's a rather peculiar and quite frankly astonishing story. This isn't your everyday run-of-the-mill town history. Taylorsville has a past with a twist. Nestled in the heart of Mississippi, it's a place that decided its original spot just wasn't quite right, so they found a better one and took the town along for the ride. Now, Taylorsville is more than just its migratory past. It's a classic slice of American small-town life, full of charm, friendly faces, and probably good pie. But it's that moving story that really grabs you. It makes you wonder about the people, their gumption, their sheer will. What else could such a place hold? We shall certainly find out. This little town with its big moving story also has a rather lovely hidden gem. Something special I've discovered. But I'm not going to tell you just yet. You'll have to stick around for that. Consider it a little Mississippi mystery. So let's wander into Taylorsville, shall we, and see what makes it tick and move. So, why would a perfectly good town decide to play musical chairs with its location? It's not like they lost the lease. Towns are supposed to be permanent fixtures like mountains or your Uncle Barry's bad jokes at Christmas. But Taylorsville had other ideas, grand, ambitious, slightly bonkers ideas. The main culprit, as it often was back then, was that great iron beast, the railroad. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, if the railroad didn't come to your town, well, your town was in a spot of bother. The original Taylorsville was a little off the beaten path. The new path, that is, made of steel rails and opportunity. The Gulf and Ship Island Railroad was the game changer. It was chugging its way through Smith County, promising prosperity, connection, and mail that arrived on time. The original settlement, known then as Old Taylorsville, was about a mile or so away. A whole mile. In those days, that was practically another country. The townsfolk faced a choice: fade away or follow the future. So they chose to follow, literally. They figured if the mountain wouldn't come to Muhammad, then Taylorsville would jolly well go to the railroad. It's a testament to human ingenuity, and perhaps a healthy dose of stubbornness. The train won't visit us? Fine, we'll visit the train. You have to admire that kind of can-do spirit, even if it involves dragging your house across a field. Now, deciding to move a town is one thing. Actually doing it is quite another. It's not like packing a few suitcases and calling a man with a van. We're talking buildings here. Wooden structures, stores, homes. You can't just fold them flat like an IKEA box. This required some serious muscle and probably a lot of head scratching. The year was 1900, not exactly an age of advanced hydraulic lifts or giant remote-controlled flatbed trucks. So, how did they do it? With grit, ingenuity, and a whole lot of logs. They would lift the buildings onto massive log rollers, think giant wooden sausages. Then, with teams of mules, oxen, and strong men, they would slowly, painstakingly, inch the structures towards their new home by the railway line. Imagine the scene: the creaking of timber, the shouts of the men, the straining of the animals. Dusty, sweaty, back-breaking work. A whole community pulling together, literally pulling their town. Each building a separate, monumental effort. The general store, the church, family homes. One by one they trundled across the landscape. A slow, determined parade of architecture. It must have been a sight to behold. Neighbors helping neighbors hoist their houses. The sheer audacity of it is breathtaking. Like deciding to move your garden, one tree at a time. Except these trees were houses, and the soil was a mile of Mississippi terrain. This wasn't just moving, it was an act of collective faith. Faith in their future, faith in each other, and faith that the logs wouldn't snap. That last one was probably quite important. So, after all that huffing and puffing, Taylorsville arrived at its new spot, right by those gleaming, promising railroad tracks. They probably all took a very deep breath, and maybe a very stiff drink. But the work wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. Now they had to put it all back together and make this new patch of dirt feel like home. The new Taylorsville began to take shape. Buildings were settled onto new foundations. Streets, if you could call them that initially, were probably just muddy tracks, but they were muddy tracks in their new, strategically located town. The sound of hammers and saws would have filled the air, a symphony of reconstruction, as the town literally re-rooted itself. A fresh start, earned the hard way. Of course, there would have been challenges, setting up new water sources perhaps, re-establishing businesses, getting the rhythm of life back. All while the Mississippi sun beat down or the Mississippi rain turned things to goo. It couldn't have been easy, but these were people who had just moved their entire town. A little mud wasn't going to stop them. They had proven their resilience, their ability to make the impossible possible. And what emerged was a town built on more than just soil. It was built on shared effort, determination, and community. That spirit, forged in the Great Move, became the bedrock of the new Taylorsville. The same families, the same businesses mostly, just in a slightly different spot on the map. They hadn't just moved buildings, they had transplanted a community. Once Taylorsville settled into its new, railway-adjacent home, life didn't just become a bed of roses. Small towns always have their struggles. They face economic shifts, just like big cities, perhaps even more acutely. When the local industry changes or a big employer leaves, the ripples are felt by everyone. Taylorsville, like many southern towns, would have seen its share of ups and downs. The fortunes of agriculture, the timber industry, they ebb and flow like the nearby Leaf River. Population numbers might dwindle at times as younger generations seek opportunities elsewhere. The lure of the big city lights can be strong, especially when you've heard every story your neighbor has to tell, twice. But Taylorsville held on. What keeps a small town like Taylorsville going? It's that grit we talked about. The same spirit that moved the houses. It translates into a determination to survive, to adapt, to make the best of things. It's in the local businesses that hang on, the community events that bring people together, the pride in their unique history. We moved a whole town, you think a little recession scares us? You can almost hear them say it. And through it all, Taylorsville has maintained its identity. This resilience is a quiet kind of success, a testament to the enduring power of community. A town isn't just buildings and streets, is it? Especially a town with a story like Taylorsville. It's the people who make it, the characters, the stalwarts, the everyday heroes, those who add color and life to the place. I'm sure Taylorsville has had its fair share. Folks whose stories are woven into the town's fabric, like strong threads in a well-worn quilt. You might not find their names in national history books, but in Taylorsville, they're legends. Think of the town doctor from 50 years ago who knew every family and delivered half the babies. Or the dedicated schoolteacher who inspired generations of Taylorsville kids. The fire chief who was always first on the scene. The mayor who fought tooth and nail for every grant. These are the people who build a community, brick by metaphorical brick. Their contributions might seem small on a grand scale, but in a small town they are monumental. One notable name often associated with Taylorsville is Jason Campbell, the former NFL quarterback. He hailed from this neck of the woods. Imagine the local pride when he made it big. A small town boy on the national stage. It shows that talent and ambition can sprout anywhere, even in a town that once had to roll itself to a better spot. His success would have been the talk of the town, proof that Taylorsville could produce champions. Now, if you're going to visit a small southern town, you'd hope for some good food, and Taylorsville, Mississippi does not disappoint, especially if you like barbecue. They like it so much they have a whole festival for it. The Grillin' and Chillin' BBQ Festival. Doesn't that just sound like a good time? I bet the aroma alone could guide you there from miles away. This isn't just a few folks with a backyard grill, this is serious business. A proper bona fide barbecue competition. Teams come from all over to show off their secret rubs and special sauces, their slow-cooked brisket, their fall-off-the-bone ribs. The air fills with delicious smoky goodness. It's a feast for the senses, and probably a challenge for your waistband. But who's counting calories at a barbecue festival? The festival is more than just food though, it's a major event for Taylorsville. It brings the whole community together, locals and visitors alike. There's music, often some good old country tunes, craft vendors, activities for the kids. It's a celebration of community spirit, and a chance for Taylorsville to shine, to show off its hospitality and its culinary prowess. So we've journeyed through Taylorsville's rather unique past. We've admired its grit, its people, its smoky festival. But I did promise you a hidden gem, didn't I? Something a little quieter, perhaps. A bit off the well-barbecued path. Well, near Taylorsville flows the Leaf River, a gentle winding waterway through the Mississippi pines. And along its banks you'll find pockets of real serenity. Places for quiet contemplation, or maybe a bit of fishing. The true hidden gem here is the simple, unspoiled nature. Imagine paddling a canoe down the Leaf River. The only sounds are the dip of your paddle, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the call of a distant bird. It's a world away from bustling cities, and even from the happy chaos of a barbecue festival. This is where you can connect with the quieter soul of Mississippi, the land that these determined folks call home. It's not flashy, it's not advertised with neon signs, but its beauty is profound and deeply restorative. Taylorsville, Mississippi. It's a town that literally picked up and moved. How many places can say that? It's a story of incredible determination, of community spirit, of adapting to survive. And it's a reminder that sometimes the most interesting places are not the biggest, they are the ones with a unique story, and people who embody that story with quiet pride. Thank you for watching Informed Tourist. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more like this, please like and subscribe, it truly helps me grow. Now please watch this next video.